Hello friends, welcome to the Blockthrasher Daily Morning Update. It is February 8th, 2021. It's so glad to have you with me. I don't know why, but every single day it seems like Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, is somehow inserted into the cryptocurrency story. And it happens once again today. Look, let's get started with the market overcap right now and take a quick look at what is happening with cryptocurrency prices. Bitcoin is up an incredible 12.59% in the last 24 hours, sitting at a brand new all-time high of $43,604. Let's go Bitcoin. Let's go. Yes. Loving that. That has something to do with the news of the day, possibly, but hey, we've been in an incredible bull run, so it can be just that as well. Taking a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is up 4.53% at $1,688. Ethereum's doing great. Cardano has been on an absolute tear, up almost 90%. I was going to say almost 100%. We're getting close. Up 90% in the last 7 days. 3.15% in the last 24 hours. And Cardano has now surpassed XRP and Polkadot and is sitting right at number 4 on Coin market cap. Fantastic. I would expect Cardano to continue to do very, very well and to continue to rise. I mean, the thing about Cardano is it is just getting started. We're going to see a ton of new coins come out on Cardano because of its capabilities and the technology that it provides and allows for other developers to get into the DeFi space, to get into the decentralized application space, and to do it without the fees and all the other issues. But that's for another time. Just can't help. I just couldn't help it. As we talk about its sort of meteoric rise in the last week, Cardano's killing it. Polkadot is up 7.82% in the last 24 hours. That's a 33.77% in the last 7 days, sitting at $21.70, looking very, very good as well. XRP dropping a bit, down 30% almost in the last 7 days. Down 2.95% in the last 24 hours, sitting at 42 cents. Binance Coin has been coming on very strong as well. It is up 48% in the last week, 2.92% in the last 24 hours, sitting at $72.44. Makes a lot of sense. Largest crypto exchange in the world. A lot of great technologies coming out that they are providing with the Binance Smart Chain and other things. I'd keep an eye on Binance Coin for sure. The other good thing about Binance Coin is it gives you a little bit more exposure to a, all crypto's global, but Binance obviously being not based in the U.S. primarily, although the exchange has been opened up in many states. Here, it gives you a little bit of exposure to something a little bit different, or something that's sort of more Asia-based. Okay, Litecoin's doing well. It is up 4.91% at $159.30. Chainlink rounding up number 9 at $24.85. And number 10, of course, similarly to Elon Musk, Dogecoin just cannot stay out of the news. Everybody's talking about Dogecoin. If you're looking in the forums and on social media, there's all these debates going back and forth, and there's people trying to hype it and people trying to pump it, and then there's other people saying, no, be careful, which is, I am one of them. This is risky for these reasons, and these are the problems, and then there, even with the, anyway, we're going to get into that a little bit more, but Dogecoin is now currently sitting at number 10, just getting really close to the 8 cents price. It is up 29.29% in the last 24 hours, up 92.40% in the last 7 days. And that wraps up our market overview. Now, let's take a look at the news of the day. Some really great things going on in terms of potential movement in a direction towards mass adoption. And the first that we need to talk about today is the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. The CME is now offering, as of last night, midnight I think, Ethereum futures contracts on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Futures, if you don't know, are a type of financial contract that make up a large part of the world's quadrillion. You heard that right. I mean, that's a staggering number. I mean, think of the U.S. debt, 26 trillion, 27, we're heading to 30 soon. We're talking quadrillion dollar, not even trillions, quadrillion dollar derivatives market. All right, so that's what futures are part of that derivatives market. They allow users to bet on an asset's future price by going long when they think the price will rise and short when they think the price is going to drop. Right? Signing in futures contract obligates a trader. So when a trader signs a futures contract, it obligates that trader to either buy or sell an asset at a certain price in the future. And so this allows traders to hedge. Hedge funds use them all the time. It's something that's been developed within the commodities world to help farmers and oil producers and people that are manufacturing these commodities to hedge against the price rises for when they take their items to market. So they could hedge in that if the price dropped, they could sell those futures contracts and earn back some of the profit that was lost from the sale of their commodity or their goods. Fascinating and very useful in certain ways. So in a press release announcing Ether Futures, the CME Group Global Head of Equity Index and Alternative Investment Products Tim McCourt pointed out the growing demand for Ether in December. This is the reason why they have listed Ethereum on the CME, according to Tim McCourt. He says, based on increasing client demand and robust growth in our Bitcoin futures and options market, we believe the addition of Ether futures will provide our clients with a valuable tool to trade and hedge this growing currency. So what does this mean? Is this good? Is this bad? Well, like with many things, there's some good and there's some bad. The good is this allows institutional investors and accredited investors to get some exposure to Ethereum in a fully regulated way. I mean, the CME is the largest commodities exchange in the world. So listen to what I said there, though. It's very important. What they're getting is exposure to Ethereum, okay? The way that this works is it is a derivative. So what they're doing is they're buying a contract to potentially buy the underlying asset, which in this case is Ethereum, at a certain date in the future. And if the price has gone up and they bought the contract at a lower price, then they make a nice profit. If it goes down, the opposite. But here's the thing. It's not actually purchasing Ethereum, right? It's purchasing the contract, and then that contract gets settled in US dollars. So nothing ever happens in terms of actually buying, selling Ethereum in any way. In fact, if we look at the CME website right here in their FAQ, this is answered for us with the question, do I need a digital wallet to trade Ether futures? And the answer is no. You do not need a digital wallet because Ether futures at CME Group are financially settled and therefore do not involve the exchange of Ether. Yeah, so usually with a futures contract, delivery is not taken of, even if it's something like oil or wheat or pork bellies or something like that. The person that is trading the futures contract never actually gets the item delivered to them, right? When the contract is about to expire, they either let it expire, and if they have a profit, they get that profit, or they sell it. They sell that contract to someone else, also on the exchange, buying and selling futures contracts. So they just sell it for a profit. So it's a derivative. It's something that the price of that contract is derived from the spot price of Ethereum on other exchanges around the world, but you're not actually playing with Ethereum. And so there's some ramifications to that. I mean, typically what happens is these markets that are on the CME, they explode far beyond sometimes the actual underlying asset. So, you can have just massive amounts of trading going on that's just tied to that underlying asset, in this case Ethereum, but never actually no buying or selling of Ethereum. And that does open up the door for some possible manipulation and things that can occur. And it can affect the spot market when those contracts are about to expire and everybody's either having to sell them or buy. There's just a lot of issues there, but it's beyond the scope of what I want to get in today. Overall, this is good. The reason this is good is because it shows cryptocurrency is here to stay. I mean, there's a futures contract now for Bitcoin, a futures contract for Ethereum on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, which is a regulated, the largest commodities exchange in the world. So this is good, and I would guess that we will continue to see more cryptos added to the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. This is also interesting because it's just another step in the direction towards a lessening of the Bitcoin maximalist type of, viewpoint that Bitcoin's going to be the only thing that survives, and all the other coins, which they sometimes call, shit coins, are going to just disappear and fade away. Well, clearly that's not going to happen. In fact, every day it seems like the Bitcoin, we call it the dominance, drops just a little bit. It's hovering right around 60% right now. Enough on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Good news, possibly, some bad, but mostly good, I would say. Moving on with the news of the day. Tesla, and this might have something to do with the big pump of Bitcoin this morning. Tesla has purchased $1.5 billion of BTC. Now, isn't that interesting? Elon Musk's been talking about Doge, and everybody, the retail investors and whatnot, are piling in, and at the same time buying Bitcoin. I don't know. Fascinating. Elon Musk's Tesla Motors is following in the footsteps of MicroStrategy and other companies by allocating part of its balance sheet to Bitcoin, BTC. In Monday's filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, the company announced it had purchased an aggregate of $1.5 billion in Bitcoin to be held as an investment and store of value for its excess cash. It is currently unknown what is the average purchase price and number of BTC the company acquired. As part of the policy, and this is where it gets interesting because people have talked about for a long time, Bitcoin use cases, and here's an example of adoption, right? As part of the policy, Tesla expects to begin offering clients the ability to purchase its products in Bitcoin, the filing states. Unlike many other similar initiatives, the Bitcoin it receives will not necessarily be liquidated as soon as possible, thus possibly adding to its reserves. Brilliant. I mean, not surprising. Elon Musk didn't become the richest man in the world by being an idiot. Of course, this makes sense. Why wouldn't they want to sell their product in Bitcoin and then store it and hold it? Bitcoin's deflationary. We know that the dollar is going to be inflationary and probably, most likely, actually, without a doubt, increasingly so. What a great hedge against that. If they're able to do it, makes sense. And it looks like, obviously this is somewhat speculative because it hasn't occurred, but it opens up the possibility in the door for that. So we shall see. In addition to Bitcoin's, Tesla's new investment policy allows for the purchase of gold, bullion, gold exchange traded funds, or ETFs. So, it'll be interesting to see if down the road, the same thing happens with Doge, since Elon has been talking about Doge. I sort of doubt it, but hey, who knows? Moving on to the next story, Grayscale. Grayscale bought 1.5 times the total amount of Bitcoin that was mined in January of 2001. This little chart here that I have on the screen, if you're watching the video, shows how that's, approximately 1.5 times the total amount of Bitcoin, right, mined. So what that means is that as Bitcoin is being mined, right, the supply is increasing up till a point. We haven't hit that point yet. Right now, if we jump back to coin market cap, we can look at the total supply of Bitcoin. It right now sits at 18,623,081 Bitcoin. And so every day, some Bitcoin is mined and added to that total supply, and will be until it hits 21 million. But there's so much demand being created in the month of January from Grayscale alone that they purchased 1.5 times the total amount of Bitcoin that was mined. Just another good sign for Bitcoin adoption, and the good sign, that explanation for this rise. As the adoption continues to increase and to spread, the institutions like Grayscale come in, and retailers as well. These are some of the reasons why we're seeing the price of Bitcoin continue to go up, and it is currently at $43,463. Wow. Looks like we could soon be knocking on the door of 50K. Very, very interesting. Dogecoin. Got to talk about Dogecoin for just a little bit. What I want to do is I want to talk about the problem with Dogecoin. Dogecoin obviously is benefiting hugely from the celebrities that are talking about it. That can in turn increase adoption, and it can cause network effect. It's what we refer to in the crypto industry as to one of the primary things that actually gives a cryptocurrency, any currency, anything, value. Actually, it's the same with applications. The more people that use the application, the more valuable it becomes, because then you can monetize that application. Network effect is the name of the game. I mean, that's what everybody wants. They want adoption. So when celebrities come out and they start talking about Dogecoin, whatever coin it is, it does help to increase that network effect. It increases awareness. I mean, it's just good marketing, good, bad, whatever. So there is that. However, there are underlying fundamental issues that can negatively affect, in a very, very big way, a cryptocurrency like Doge. And I want to talk about that. But first, it's not just Elon now. Snoop Dogg tweeted to his approximately 19.2 million followers an image portraying the rapper as a Shiba Inu. So now Snoop Dogg is getting in on it. And he tagged Elon Musk in his tweet. And they're not the only ones. There's been a couple others that have done similarly, done the same. So at the time of press of Snoop Dogg's tweet regarding Dogecoin, it had 212,400 likes and 44,500 retweets. According to Celebrity Net Worth, Snoop Dogg's estimated net worth is 150 million. But obviously, Snoop Dogg has a ton of followers. And so there's Doge getting exposure into the mass culture, right? And so everybody's talking. So what's happening? So also they mentioned that Gene Simmons has joined in. As I mentioned, there's some others that have been doing this. But what's happening is you've got all these people out there that have probably never even heard of any other cryptocurrency than Bitcoin up till today or yesterday or last week or whatever. And suddenly they hear Musk or they hear Snoop Dogg, and they're just like, Doge, what's Doge? Oh, everybody's getting Doge. Doge's going to be the next Bitcoin. I want to jump in. Well, here's the thing about it. If you compare Dogecoin with Bitcoin, there's some major differences. There's a bunch of major differences. One is that Bitcoin has a huge development team, very active development team that is working constantly to improve the platform and come up with solutions that will work with Bitcoin. That these are things that, it's not impossible, can't happen with Dogecoin, but Dogecoin was essentially an abandoned project that has no GitHub repo updates since 2019. Will it be picked up again? Oh, possibly. I mean, with the popularity of what's happening here. But here's the biggest primary number one problem with Doge. If we look at the stats on CoinMarketCap, we see the circulating supply is 128 billion. Yeah. 21 million versus 128 billion. So if people are thinking that, a Dogecoin is someday going to be $40,000 like a Bitcoin, it's just ridiculous because of the difference between 21 million versus 128 billion. But here's the bigger issue. Maximum supply. Maximum supply is not listed. And the reason maximum supply is not listed is because there is no maximum supply. So Bitcoin's a deflationary asset because there will be 21 million once it's done being mined, and that's it. And then everybody in the world is fighting over the same 21 million, trying to get a little bit of a piece. It's like a pie that you can cut smaller pieces and give away little bits and bites to people, right? And those little bits and bites, as people want more of that pie. Like, give me some of that pepperoni pizza. I want a bite, please. Okay, well, there's only this little sliver bit left. So, okay, what am I going to trade for it? Well, it's getting more expensive because there's demand. There's not enough supply to meet the demand. As the demand rises, with an inflationary asset like Dogecoin, it's not like there's one pie. It's like there's a pie now, and then there's a pie tomorrow, and then there's another pie, and pies keep getting created and created and created. And what matters is how quickly are those pies getting created. And in the case of Dogecoin, those pies are getting created really, really quickly. Now, Musk talked about this, and he said it might not be a significant amount of, maybe not. I mean, this is debatable. We'd have to run the numbers of how significant it is. But let me tell you, the actual numbers are staggering, okay? Because originally when Dogecoin was created, 10,000 coins were created every block, which happens every minute. And that was supposed to happen up until the first 600,000 blocks had been created. And then it was going to start to decrease. And there was a cap on the total amount. However, in February of 2014, I almost said 14. I don't know where that's coming from. But on February 1st, 2014, the Dogecoin developers announced that Dogecoin would not be capped at 100 billion Dogecoins after all. 100 billion was going to be the original total cap, but would continue to have a flat 10K Dogecoin reward for each block after 600,000. So now, Dogecoin, there's 10,000 new Dogecoin every single minute. 10,000 new Dogecoin every single minute. So let's think about that. We got 24 hours in a day. We multiply that by 60 minutes every single hour. That's 1,440 minutes in a day. We multiply that by 10,000 to see how many Dogecoin are created every single day. That's 14,400,000. Now, if I got something wrong, somebody please let me know in the comments. But as far as everything I've been able to look at and tell, that this is what's happening. 14.4 million new Dogecoin every single day. So that means at the current price, let's just say at 7 cents to be close. Okay, if we've got 14,400,000 coins every single day, and we multiply that times 0.07 cents, that's $1,008,000 of new Dogecoin created every single day. Times 365, we're looking at $367 billion a year. Yeah. Whether my math is totally spot on or not or whatever, this is a problem. And people need to understand that. So, could Dogecoin go up to $1? Well, let's just say it did. If Dogecoin went up to $1, it would be sitting at a market cap of $128 billion at the current supply. What do we have that's close to 128? Well, Ethereum's at $193 billion. So if Dogecoin caught Ethereum, it'd be over $1. Bitcoin's at $802 billion. So could Dogecoin have a nice run? Yeah, sure, it could. It could be a good short-term investment. However, the problem is that as it currently sits, that whatever increase it has is constantly being eroded at the tune of $10,000. 10,000 Dogecoin every single minute. Now, looks like Ethereum is hitting an all-time high as we sit here. $1,705.94. I'm getting notified here. Is that an all-time high? I think it's getting close. We'll probably exceed that here very, very soon. All right, friends, thank you for your time. This has been a fun episode. Continue to come back every day. Please subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're listening on the podcast, please subscribe as well. and help me to continue to grow this community. Love to see you in the Facebook group. It's Facebook.com/groups/Blockthrasher. Also on Twitter, on a bunch of other platforms like Odyssey, which is a great YouTube alternative. Would just love to connect with you and see you any of those places. Hope you have a fantastic day, and always remember, it's a great, great day to earn more crypto. Talk to you soon, friends. Goodbye.